For years, we've thought the great AI war was a silent one, right? Fought with algorithms and data centers, all hidden away in the cloud. But what if that was just a warm-up act? The real war, the one for control of our physical world, that's only just beginning.
Chinese robots have moved quickly from factory floors to daily life since 2015, when China's government declared robotics an industry to dominate. It has scaled up to produce 595,000 industrial robots and 13.5 million service robots in the first 3 quarters of last year. Morgan Stanley predicts China's robotics market will hit $108 billion by 2028. There are now more than 150 companies making humanoids.
Because, let's be honest, the ultimate prize isn't an AI that can write a nice poem. It's an AI that can actually move, interact, and think in the same physical space that we do. It's called physical AI, and it's the brain that's going to power the next wave of cars, drones, and especially robots. And just when we all thought we knew the main players in this race, a new contender from the East didn't just show up, it completely rewrote the rulebook. So let's dive right in. Back on February 10th, 2026, Alibaba's super-secretive research group, the Damo Academy, dropped an announcement that sent shockwaves through the entire tech industry. They unleashed something called RynnBrain. It's what they call an embodied intelligence model, which is basically a ready-to-go brain for physical machines. And this wasn't just some minor update. No, this was a declaration of war. Now check this out, because this is where it gets really wild. It's the sheer audacity of it all. Alibaba didn't just say their new AI was pretty good. They put it in a head-to-head cage match with the reigning champs from Google and Nvidia, and then they claimed victory. Across 16 different standardized tests designed to see how well a robot can understand and mess with the real world, RynnBrain just shattered the old records. This wasn't a tiny step forward. This was a giant leap over the competition. And we need to be crystal clear about what this really means. This is so much bigger than just a corporate rivalry. This is a major play in the global chess match for tech dominance between the US and China. You see, Beijing has made physical AI and robotics a top national priority. They see it as the key to reshaping everything from how we build things to how we run our hospitals. And RynnBrain, well, it's their new frontline soldier in that fight. So the obvious question is, what's the secret sauce? How did Alibaba's model manage to outsmart the best and brightest that Silicon Valley had to offer? Well, the answer comes down to a really fundamental change in how the AI sees the world. The key is this idea called spatio-temporal memory. It's a fancy term, but think of it like this. Most AIs kind of have short-term memory loss. If an object leaves their sight, poof, it basically vanishes from their universe. RynnBrain is different. It builds a constant world model in its head, remembering where things are even when it can't see them. It's not just taking a picture, it's understanding the movie of reality. And that lets it do what Alibaba says is think one step ahead of you. And when you look under the hood, you can really see how brilliantly this whole thing is put together. It's built on their own powerful vision AI, but the architecture around it is the real game changer. They built a framework that let them double their training speed without buying more expensive computers. And get this, when it's running, it uses only 3 billion parameters, which is way smaller than its rivals, but it still beats them. Then there's this global retrospection thing. It's like having that little voice in your head that says, hang on, let me double check my work. It can literally review its own reasoning and fix its own mistakes. It's just lean, fast, and incredibly smart. But, the tech itself is only half the story here. The other half is the strategy, and frankly, it's a direct challenge to the entire Silicon Valley way of doing things. Because after building this state-of-the-art AI brain, Alibaba did something absolutely radical. They gave it away for free. So you've got 2 totally different ways of thinking here. On one side, you have the classic US approach. Build amazing tech, lock it down behind a paywall, and control everything. But Alibaba is playing a completely different game. By putting RynnBrain out there for free on places like GitHub, they're basically inviting the entire world to come and build things on top of their foundation. It's a calculated bet to win the whole ecosystem, trading short-term profits for, they hope, long-term domination. So is this crazy open source plan actually working? Well, the numbers are just jaw-dropping. Before RynnBrain was even officially announced, the models it's built on had already been downloaded over 700 million times.
That's insane! Developers are flocking to this stuff. I mean, there were reports that even a giant like Meta is using Alibaba's tech to rebuild its own AI. When your rivals start using your tools, you know you're doing something right. And make no mistake, this wasn't some happy accident. It was the plan all along. As this quote makes perfectly clear, they see openness as a core part of their strategy. The idea is that if you make the tools free, everyone starts innovating faster, and your platform becomes the standard, the default choice for the entire industry. It's a really bold bet. Okay, so we've got this incredibly powerful, free-to-use brain. What does it actually do? Well, this is the moment where all that digital code finally gets a body and starts walking around in our world. RynnBrain is literally designed to be the mind that brings the machine to life. Let's just walk through how this might work in, say, a regular home. First, the robot uses its sensors to see what's going on. It sees a messy room, a cluttered kitchen counter. Then the magic happens. That spatial temporal memory we talked about kicks in. It's not just seeing a blob of colors, it's seeing distinct objects with relationships. Its brain is thinking, okay, that's an orange, that belongs in the fruit bowl, and that's a bottle of milk, it needs to go back in the fridge. It then figures out a whole multi-step plan, and finally it sends the instructions to its body to actually do it, to pick things up, put them away, and navigate the room. Of course, a brilliant brain is only as good as the body it's controlling, and while RynnBrain can be dropped into a lot of different robots, it really shines when it's paired with hardware that was designed specifically for this new kind of AI. So let's meet one of its best partners, the Quanta X2 humanoid robot. And this is a serious piece of machinery. It's what they call model-driven hardware, meaning its body is purpose-built to get the most out of an AI brain like RynnBrain. It stands at about human height, and it has an incredible 62 different joints for super fluid movement. But the hands are the real showstopper here. 20 degrees of freedom? We're talking about the kind of delicate touch needed to deal a pack of cards. This machine is built to handle the complex, messy reality of our world. So you put it all together, a revolutionary AI brain, an advanced robotic body, you have to ask, what's the end game here? This is about way more than just building a cooler robot. This is about building the entire foundation for a new kind of economy. And the sheer scale of the ambition is just mind-blowing. I mean, sure, experts are saying this whole physical AI market is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity, but look at Alibaba's goals on this chart. They aren't just trying to get a slice of the pie. Their stated goals are to create 100 million jobs and serve 2 billion customers. Those aren't the metrics of a software company. Those are the ambitions of someone trying to start the next industrial revolution. And trust me, they are putting their money where their mouth is. Through their Damo Academy, they are launching a whole network of new research labs all over the globe. We're talking Beijing, yes, but also Tel Aviv, Singapore, and even Bellevue, Washington, right in the backyard of their US rivals. This is a coordinated global push to hoover up the best talent and build out the infrastructure they need to win. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, the world-beating tech, the radical open source strategy, the global talent grab, the master plan becomes crystal clear. Alibaba isn't just trying to build a better robot, they're trying to build the Windows or the Android for all robots, the one universal operating system for every single intelligent machine that will one day walk, drive, and work right alongside us. And that leaves us with one massive, really critical question. The race is on, and the stakes could not possibly be higher. Because the winner here doesn't just get a bigger market share, the winner gets to define the basic rules of engagement between us and our most powerful creations. So as these intelligent machines finally step out of the digital world and into our own, you have to ask yourself, who is writing the code for our new reality? Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time as we continue to break down the biggest ideas shaping our world.